Okay, once again, I'm going to give you a minute to copy this information down, and then we'll get started. Okay, and in this case, on this picture, they gave us the R values over here, but I'm going to show you how to read the chart for them, because you're going to have to read the chart on the problem you're going to do by yourself. So we're going to start here, and we're going to first do this where there's insulation in this wall. Basically, this part of the wall right here, at some points in the wall, it's just insulation, and in other parts of the wall, there's actually a piece of wood that's a 2x8 piece of wood there. So we're going to calculate it first where it's the insulation part. So starting on this side, we have 5/8 inch drywall, and if we look on our chart, come down here, 5/8 inch drywall, and we come across 0.56. That's what it says here. We're going to write it down for our R value. R19 fiberglass means the R value for that fiberglass is 19. So we're going to write it down. We're going to look this up on our chart, and it's right, it says it right there, and it's right here on our chart. 1 inch is 7.2. It's a kind of insulation. Okay, our next item is we've got a little air gap here. And the air gap is not on your chart, but it tells us for this little air gap we've got 0.17. And little air spaces do provide some insulation. That's why you'll see sometimes with windows that have 2 panes of glass are better for saving energy and for heat, keeping your heat in or your cold in. So that little air space counts. And then the brick over here, it says that we've got a brick, and it tells us how big it is. Basically, it's a basic common 4-inch brick, 0.80 right there, and that's what it tells us to use right there. So then once you've written down every layer in your wall, you just add these numbers up. And if we add these up, we get an R value of 27.7. R values don't have any units, so that's just our answer. Now we're going to go back, and instead of figuring where the insulation part is, we're going to figure where that 2x4 piece of wood is in our wall. So we're going to use this one instead of the insulation part. We're going to do the same thing. So at the stud, wall boards are called studs. At the stud, we're going to do the same calculation. Everything's going to be exactly the same, in fact, so I'm just going to copy them down from up there. The stud was 0.56. Oh, I'm sorry. The drywall was 0.56. I'm going to skip the stud because we have to look that up. This number was 7.20. The airspace was 0.17, and the brick was 0.80. Now let's look up the 2x6 stud on our paper. And we just come over here. It's not a 2x4, it's a 2x6. So there's our number. And it actually tells us on here to use this number. Oh, that's the same one, 6.88. That's the same one I have here, 6.88. So I'm going to put that in for the 2x6 stud, add these up, and here's our calculation. What we're saying is the points in the wall where the studs are in between the insulation, we have a significantly less R value, so we're getting less insulation there, which is what we would expect.